What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, it honestly feels really weird saying this, but the final episode of My Hero Academia Vigilantes is finally here. And as a result, this is the final video of me talking about Vigilantes until the next season comes out. Now, honestly, this has been such a fun experience talking about Vigilantes week to week. I was looking for something to fill the void from talking about My Hero Academia's final season, and by doing this, man, I grew to love Vigilantes even more as a series. It's honestly up there now with some of my favorite anime at this point. So now that it's finally at an end for now, I figured let's make one more video talking all about My Hero Academia Vigilantes. So, first things first, I want to talk about that Knuckleduster and Six fight coming to a conclusion. Bro, that fight was actually really good. The animation in that fight really, it wasn't like the best animation, but what I liked was that you can tell just how deranged Six has gotten. I said this before earlier in the season that I've been waiting for the moment where Six as a character kind of like snaps, right? He's a character that I felt like was always ready to essentially crack at any moment. And we're finally starting to see that. We're finally starting to see Six slowly but surely start to crack. And like like Knuckleduster here was essentially the catalyst for it. So what I think is going to happen now in the future is, one, I don't think Knuckleduster is dead. There's no way in hell Knuckleduster is dead. Sure, they don't show, and because like the first rule of thumb for anything in media, if you don't see a body, they're not dead. So Knuckleduster, I think, probably went off into hiding somewhere. He's probably going to come back next season, but with Knuckleduster now, I think Knuckleduster is going to continue to be kind of like that catalyst for Six to continue to crack because Six just has such an utter obsession with him because he wants to be his apprentice. Like you can see it in the fight. He just keeps calling him cool, similar to how Shigaraki was always calling Aizawa cool. So again, the parallels between Six and Shigaraki are there. The only difference is Shigaraki was able to get a sense of stability from what he was in season one. Six, I don't think he's going to have that. I think Six is going to essentially continue to unravel until we inevitably reach the end. And whatever happens to Six that keeps him out of the narrative going forward, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Now, moving on from that, I did one of the things that I really loved about this episode was it really felt like a great goodbye to Captain Celebrity. Captain Celebrity for me, like his arc has been one of my favorites in My Hero Academia, going from what he was in season 1 of Vigilantes to now actually being a well-respected hero and being able to be reunited with his wife again and his child and get to go back to America. That hit for me. I liked that a lot. And I especially liked when his wife kind of came barging into the hospital room. She like gave her kid to Makoto and she just starts banging on Captain Celebrity. And like you can see like just how emotional she is because she's never seen her husband like this, right? She's never seen Captain Celebrity putting his life on the line like this to essentially save people, right? For her, she's always seen Captain Celebrity as kind of like somebody who's always chasing women around and stuff like that. She never really thought he was taking the hero life seriously. But when Captain Celebrity saved all those people at Sky Egg, she realized that he's fully evolved into somebody new. He's essentially evolved into the hero that she always thought he could be. He just wasn't living up to his full potential. And that honestly hit for me a lot, man. Captain Celebrity's wife is honestly such a good character. Aside from the fact that I don't really like her design a lot, the fact though is she's just so well written in my opinion. So it makes up for it at the end of the day. Plus, her kid is so funny looking. I love that he essentially looks exactly like her. He just has Captain Celebrity's hair. That's honestly a funny little bit for me. I love that. And dude, when we get to his goodbye and you see Makoto kind of pull up and be like, I'm still going to be your manager, that I like that a lot. Makoto is honestly another one of my favorite characters too. And I like the fact that they're kind of hinting at a relationship with her and Koichi, right? I've always kind of been kind of like a supporter of Koichi and Makoto since season one. I always thought they had a really good dynamic. So I was hoping that they would kind of extrapolate on that in season two. And it looks like we're getting the hints, the seeds are being planted for it here in this episode. So I wonder if Makoto is going to come back at some point during this next season. I'm starting to think maybe she comes back in the season to, like, I don't know, maybe her and Koichi get together at the end or something like that. Who knows? But I really hope she comes back because she's a great character, and I don't want her to essentially be written out of the narrative entirely. I kind of hope that because her and Koichi have this kind of connection, I hope it kind of brings her back to Naruhata at some point, especially since she's such an important figure for everybody in Naruhata. I think she's going to come back at some point. It's just a matter of when. Now, the final thing that I really want to talk about is the 2 year time skip. The 2 year time skip, I really liked a lot. Like, we only get to see the 2 year time skip for a little bit, but you can see essentially how everybody has grown in this 2 year time skip. Koichi is essentially kind of like a seasoned vet at this point as a vigilante. Like, he seems to have like full confidence in his quirk now when it comes to using the attacks that he struggled with, like even just a few episodes ago. So you get to see Koichi's evolution. I like that you can also visibly tell that Pop has essentially gotten taller, right? That's another thing that I like. That's a cool visual representation of growth that you don't really see a lot, and I like that they kind of went out of their way to essentially make her taller, make her look like she's an older character now, and that's pretty cool. I like that. But I especially liked during the essentially like attack on those villains that were trying to get those girls or whatever they were doing. I kind of forget, but I kind of forgot they were kind of forgettable a little bit. But what I like was everybody who works at the cafe kind of essentially roped them in, and now they're doing jobs to rehabilitate. Like, that's honestly pretty cool. I like that a lot. It shows that everybody who works at the cafe is still like working on themselves. And that's another thing that I like about Koichi is that all of his deeds from like season one on to season two have essentially come full circle here, because a lot of these people that he stopped, they were in season one. So we're able to see that growth, and you're able to see them essentially now, like, essentially becoming better people, just like Captain Celebrity. So you get to see the impact that Koichi has on so many different people. And that just makes Koichi an even better character to me, honestly. Like, Koichi is just climbing the ranks for me for my hero characters. It's honestly great. But moving on from that, I really liked Koichi's job interview and essentially what it means for the future. Now, I always thought there wasn't going to be any question that Koichi was going to stay a vigilante throughout the rest of the story, because this was essentially what he's always wanted to be. He's wanted to be able to help people, like, since he was a little kid. But what I like about Koichi here is he's essentially feels like he's had enough, right? He's essentially feels like he's seen and done everything that he's wanted to do since he was a kid, right? He even got to meet All Might. So he kind of views his like journey as a vigilante hero as being complete. He sees like he himself feels like he's ready to put it to rest when this final All Might hoodie is essentially worn down, and then he's going to go work his full-time job. That's honestly really cool to me, because for Deku essentially had his ability to be a hero taken away from him, right? It was given to him by All Might, and then it was taken away by essentially his own actions by the end of the story. With Koichi, it's completely different. He still has his quirk. He still has everything he needs to be in order to be a hero in society, but he's willing to put it all away because he's seen everything that he wants to see. He's met All Might. He's got a signature from All Might. He's got an autograph. He's seen and done everything he's wanted to do, and he's honestly willing to put that part of himself to bed and never look back, go work a job, and make sure his parents aren't worried about him in the future. Like, that's really cool to me, man. The fact that Koichi is essentially selfless enough to put his own dreams that he wanted for himself to the side and essentially just go work a 9 to 5 and make money. Like that's honestly really cool. And it kind of like that's where you see like the parallels too of Koichi and Deku. They're both here. They're both great heroes, but they both end up going to like essentially work like full-time jobs. Deku becomes a teacher. Koichi is ready to put being a vigilante to bed and go work a full-time job. Like that's cool. And that makes me like Koichi even more as a character. So now that we see him essentially sliding away with Pop for essentially one of their last patrols, like now I think it's safe to say next season is going to be the end. So man, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for Vigilantes to be done. Vigilantes has been such an incredible ride for me. I've loved every minute. So when Vigilantes ends, man, I'm gonna be upset. But honestly, I'm glad that they're going to be able to adapt the whole story. It's been incredible to watch, and also, dude, that post credit scene, perfect. I knew all along that all for One was in this. That's kind of the downside of Vigilantes coming out so late. Like I knew everything that was going to happen. Like I knew All Might or not All Might, All for One was going to be there at some point. So seeing him now just confirmed, like essentially what's going to happen with Six in the future. Six is just going to get even more powerful and possibly more deranged. So looking forward to that. But at this point, man, I think it's safe to say that Vigilantes has become one of my favorite stories, it for anime at least. I've loved it a lot. And I also just want to say thank you guys. I want to like for everybody that chose to sit down and watch one of these videos talking about this season, I thank you a lot. I didn't know how the Vigilantes content was going to really do over here because I've never really talked about Vigilantes like that. I talked about it a few times before, but I never really talked about the whole season. So I just wanted to thank everybody that took time out of their day to sit down and watch one of these videos, whether you had it going in the background or you watched like the whole thing. Thank you. It means a lot. And I love making these videos, and the fact that people actually sit down and watch these videos, like it means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much. But I think that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you guys thought about this final episode and the season in general for Vigilante Season 2. Did you love it as much as me, or did you guys think there was some things that could have been worked on to make it even better and surpass your expectations? Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time.